Hi everyone, my name is Maciej Nowak and I'm one of the co-founders of Osom Studio. We are a WordPress boutique agency and we work with tech companies, and you can find us at osomstudio.com. That is osomstudio.com. And I'm here talking about WordPress security, what we have learned across years of working with clients, what can you expect from running a WordPress website, and how to protect yourself and make sure no intruders are coming to your website. I also host a WordPress podcast. It's called Awesome to Know. It's at awesomeknow.com. I would like to start with this. And if you see this in your code base, what do you think? What's your first thought? Am I doomed? Or maybe my malware's thinking I want to break free? No. So maybe the second thing is you think, how did it happen? What should I do now? And how to prevent this from happening ever again to me? So this is what we will be talking. I will be talking today. The topic is WordPress security VIP. Very important practices, not that VIP. Very important practices. So I will introduce myself. So my name is Maciej Nowak. I run Osom Studio. We are WordPress only and WooCommerce only agency for tech companies. We mainly help software companies build their websites or consumer electronics companies. I've been doing this for 12 years. I'm an iOS engineer turned, stopped, developing in Xcode. Now I develop in Gmail, as I tend to joke. I run also Awesome to Know podcast. It's about WordPress and building great websites. And after hours I run, and before hours I discovered Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which is also a very interesting thing to do. And that's it. That will be the agenda for today. So intro is behind us. We'll cover motives for hacking, selected infections, what we've come across, what I have prepared for today, sources of attack, security practices, what's OWASP, and we will recap at the end. Now, to set the tone for this conversation, this is a slide from Statista. So these are this is yearly spending on cybersecurity, and I want to cover two points in here. So you can if you look closely, there are two spikes, like two moments in here. Between 2019 and 2020, there is a big spike, like 35%, and then between 2021 and 22. So what you can see, or what you can think, is 19 to 20, COVID happened, everyone went home, and if you are working from home because you can't work from office, this is not as secure environment as it used to be when you were working from the office, right? So spending for securing stuff went through the roof. And then after 21, February 2022, Ukraine got raided by Russia, and all of the cybersecurity and warfare got more. Also, AI got more more present. And you can see that from 22, the spending on cybersecurity is rising very, very fast. The incline got higher, right? So what are the motives? What's driving this spending, right? So this is something I want you to think about when listening to that. So we will start with motives for hacking. And there are multiple, like financial gain, data theft, malware distribution, hacktivism, cyber warfare, reputation and challenge, espionage, and personal vendettas. The last one is very important. Don't make anyone angry, on the internet, because you can get, get problems. And what happened? I would like to focus on the first three, because I can't cover everything, but these three are very connected to each other. And financial gain is like the number one motive for hacking. Data theft is also very closely connected to that, because you can, if you steal some data, you can sell it. And this is also for financial gain. Malware distribution means to an end, right? You distribute the malware to get what you want, mostly financial gain. So we'll think about this. And if you are thinking, what can you, how to put it, like, why would you be ever attacked? Why should I be a victim? It's not you personally, unless it's vendetta or hacktivism or espionage. But if we are considering these three, it's not you, it's your resources. It's your server, VPS, it's your website reputation that can be leveraged to do something. It's the traffic on your website, or it's your customers coming to your website. It's not you personally, it's the resources you own, even if it is, shared hosting for $5 a month, right? So, but this can serve a different purpose for different people. So it's always about your resources that gets attacked and leveraged by malicious actors. So I wanted to share a couple of ways you can get maybe not infected, but how can this happen to you? So, for example, it's credit card skimming. It's called Mage Card, coming from Magento space, where this was first observed. And credit card skimming online works similar way to where when you would be skimmed by with a physical card. So the code listens to what's input on the form with the card. When you type the card number, it's stored, the transaction goes, but the card is de facto duplicated because all of the data is let's say tracked to the hacker. So this is one. Ad fraud. This is it manifests in a way that the website displays ads that are fake or not yours, right? So you display ads on your website that directs your clicks somewhere else, to phishing page, for example, or any other way you can get scammed, or you can leave your personal data. So fake ads. Cryptojacking. Again, resources. So it was very popular some time ago when the website got infected and there was a JS library that would mine crypto on your computer. So you entered a website, there was a crypto miner running in JS on your computer, and this is a normal website, but your CPU is at 100%, right? So you are being used, your electricity basically is used, and if you have enough people who does it, it's a big thing for the attacker. And if it is mass distributed, this is a big thing. Next one is phishing campaign. So you have to have a place to host a phishing site. You can't do this on your own server because you will get people will find you. But if it is someone else, it's easy because it's not you who risk displaying a phishing site. So again, your resources they are like a signpost for someone else to host malicious website. Fake product listings. Again, this is your server serves fake products. No one will never send anything to the customer, and this is again your server, not the attacker server. SEO spam, obvious thing. You get you share your website reputation. So what happens? You don't see anything on your website. But your website behind the scenes gets saturated with bad links. links to other websites of attackers who want to rank higher with their websites. So your domain authority will get lower because you share your authority with very bad websites which are known to be bad, but want to rank higher. Payment gateway manipulation. It means that the funds might be redirected to somewhere else. So everything seems very okay, but the seller won't get the funds. Someone else will get the funds, even though that's it doesn't look like this. Stealing affiliate cookies, it's called also cookie stuffing, is a way in which website you can observe this sometimes. When you enter a website, there is a multiple or many redirects happening. You open one website and there's like redirect, and after 5, 6, 10 redirects, you end up in a proper place. But what happens between is you go through pages which sticks cookie to your browser and creates an affiliation, let's say token, and this way you have many like affiliation transactions, and people who does it benefit from transactions. So you can imagine you will buying a hosting from an affiliate link, and the person who gave an affiliate link to you will get, I don't know, 10 or 5% of your purchase. Imagine this happened 10 times after one click from many different vendors to the attacker. You de facto provided that to happen. And then inserting exploit kits, it's a way to distribute malware. So you have to host malware somewhere. You have to find a place to host the malware so that when you enter the website, you get infected, basically. These are like a couple of ways you can you can come across when browsing. And what we've seen with our clients is this. This is the opening slide. This is what happened to one of our clients, which interestingly enough is a big government agency. It's very big, very big agency. And the situation is they have a AWS hosting with roughly 15 pages there. And one day, all of them got infected. They are not like extremely visited, but some of them are very, not like very visited. So all of them got infected. And this was possible because that particular AWS instance didn't have domain separation. It means that it's like, you have all eggs in one bucket or basket. All eggs got affected by that because the malware code escaped the given website which was infected. This is very bad practice if you host multiple pages on under one roof, because every will be infected sooner or later. We don't know what was the source. With 15 websites, we couldn't say what was the source, and we got reinfections later. So if you inherit 15 websites, because this is an inherited project, legacy project, it's very difficult to know what was the root cause when you get 15 old websites done by multiple agencies across many years. And interestingly enough, what we observed and what triggered our let's say intervention was because one of the websites got deleted. There were no harvesting of links. There were no fraudulent ads. Just one website got deleted. So thinking about the motives, maybe this was some kind of hacktivism or I don't know, like cyber warfare. If this was a government agency, we don't know. Like, why would you delete the website? Like, what, you are hooligan? It's like breaking a window. Right? You gain nothing, right? But it happened. what we could do was, like what we did was, we had to reinstall everything from scratch. The situation is that it's very hard to change the hosting in such an agency. It's a nightmare. So we had to reinstall, like, clean every website, and there are 15 of them. And this is a pain. Like, you have to work with very old websites and make them clean again. So this is it. Like, reinstall the WordPress from core, reinstall plugins, scan with two malware scanners to make sure we didn't omit anything, and then move to a server with a domain separation, or work on a domain separation so this doesn't happen again. And the way it got possible, as I mentioned, was because one of the websites got infected and the malware escaped, got free to other websites. Another example, it's interesting enough UK business, and the situation again is because clients doesn't want to update the website all the time, it's on demand. So the client says, okay, I'm ready to update the website. Our e-commerce is ready. It's not like a peak season, so we can update the website. Guess what? It's every 4 months. So it's not very, very, it's not a good practice, but you have to work with it. And this is an interesting case where there was a vulnerable plugin on that website, and it got update from the makers. WordPress and PatchStack mentioned that on their website, and about 3 days later, our website gets infected. And the plugin was post SMTP plugin, and the bug there was that the attacker could view logs and emails sent from that plugin. Now you could listen to that plugin and understand who are the users who are logging in. So you can get credentials to log in. The attacker changed the password and created a new user with the name of WordPress, which is a good joke because there was no WordPress installed on that website. And this got caught by IT administrator on the client side who knew there was no WordPress, and suddenly a WordPress user appeared. And no one would knew anything because it was proper login to the website. There was no, I don't know, code creation. The attacker just got the access to the website and created an administrator account under the WordPress username. And then nothing happened. It was just created and it was on a listening mode probably. So you create a user on a website and listens to what happens. If it is caught, sorry, I didn't succeed, let's say, as a hacker, but if it is not caught, it means no one is paying attention. So maybe I'm ready to use this when I want, when I have a need to use that website, when I know that no one is looking at my hands. So this made the client to make the decision to do more regular updates, and we are on a weekly basis now. But it had to be a shock therapy to the client that they got infected, and only this made them to update. And one more infection. It was also it was a big manufacturer, also e-commerce, and this was situation where they were affected with malicious ads. So you can imagine you are like a big brand and you are displaying US visas ads, get visa for $19 or something like this. And this got noticed by not only the agency, us, and the client, but also their customers. So this was a problem. And we again inherited the website, and it turned out that there was a lot of custom logic, like custom logic with custom inputs for business logic on the client side, and the root cause of that was not inputs not sanitized. So you could basically enter SQL code to print the password, for example, of the users. So this was also interesting because this was VPS machine, and we found out that there were open connections from the server to other servers. So not only the website was hacked, there were open connections to the via SSH. There were users created on the WordPress. There were users created on the server level. So all sorts of things were there as a fallback solutions to a situation in which, for example, we cleared the database. We got reinfected. We did something else, we got reinfected. We closed connections, changed passwords, we got reinfected. At the last sort, we switched servers to make sure the server is not the root cause, like, I don't know, not on the WordPress side, but maybe on the server side was a hole. So this was a cat and mouse game. We closed connection. A couple of hours later, we got reinfected, and we were seeing that the website is attacked from a given IP. We whitelisted the IP, something else happened. So it's a situation in which this website was either very, very valuable for the hacker, or it was getting personal, and this was like, who will win this duel, right? The owner of the website or the hacker? Like, how long can I, as a hacker, play with that? Very interesting, like, professionally very interesting problem for our client. It was very, very stressful event. Now, what's the source of all of this happening, right? As per patch stack report for 2023, they are saying that plugins were responsible for 97 of all security vulnerabilities. And as per Thomas Reeve, who runs We Watch Your Website, he's saying stolen session cookies were root cause for 60% of all incidents. And We Watch Your Website is a software running on server level, not as patch stack or WordPress within WordPress instance. Now, what does it tell you? What these two like messages from companies tell you about causes of incidents? And anyone want to share? Okay, but it's advice. But what led to those infections? You are providing a remedy, but how to prevent that? What does it mean that plugins are responsible for these vulnerabilities? And for all incidents, the root cause is stolen session cookie. But session cookie is created when you log into your WordPress, Gmail, Facebook. So these are two different kinds of informations, like comparing elephants to tigers. And the interesting thing is, when you hear that the vulnerabilities are 97% of vulnerabilities are coming from WordPress, does it mean all hacks are coming through them? As per Thomas Reeve, Thomas says that 60% of actual attacks are not coming through holes in plugins, but through session cookies. What do you make of this? Of it as regular WordPress person? So what happens is, as I read this, if you not update your plugin, you get hacked. But if you keep updating your plugins, you will get hacked. Like, there's 60% chance of doing that, because you will not protect your session cookie at some point. So where are your session cookies? At your laptop or your computer. So at some point, people get hacked on their local machine. Session cookies are stolen, and people can get proper login without any hacks, just proper login as a logged in user, and then do any stuff you want. as a proper user. This is what I make of it. And it's like feeling safe, you know, being in that safe, sitting on your gold, but the whole safe is stolen. Not your money is stolen, but you are stolen with that safe, not knowing about that, because patch stack looks from within the WordPress instance, WordPress 2. If what Thomas Reef is saying is what he really observes on that, you know, thousands of websites he monitors, it means like more than half of people get hacked and their credentials are stolen by, for example, infostealer software or malware software. And this is very, like, when I was reading about this, it's very easy to cover your tracks, because you get a snapshot of all of the cookies and you deinstall the software. No one knows you were there. You are on someone else's computer. So how can you think about preventing that? Obviously, update the plugins, because if you don't do that, you will get hacked. If you do this, you still can get hacked, but you did your due diligence, right? So it's something you have to do. You cannot neglect it. And there is a question for you. Who uses WPML? Raise your hand. Not many people. Please lower your hand, like raise your hand, but lower your hand if you have updated this week. All right, so you updated this week. Okay, so what happens? Okay, so it was updated. Okay, very good. Only 2 people using WPML. I'm asking about this because, as you may or may not know, WPML had a big vulnerability. You could execute code on a website with WPML if you are logged in. So it's not like anyone on the planet can run code on your website. You had to be logged in with like lowest privileges. And why it's interesting? Because what I want to share with you here is how long does it take to patch a plugin? It takes roughly 60 days with WPML case, right? So Matt Rawlings, under the nick of Stealthcopter, found that bug, and it turns out that every WPML, like it's for all versions, like every version running out there is vulnerable to this remote code execution vulnerability. And between finding this and reporting, you know, how long does it take for between like 50 days, 54 days took WPML to fix that. It's a huge, like very long time. And this is a case by which we were affected with that e-commerce business, where there was a bug in a plugin, it got published, and 3 days later, that website, we knew that this website was infected. Is it a bad thing that PatchStack or WordFence published the information that the plugin is infected? Should they say there is a bug in previous versions, or they should keep this information private? What do you think? Okay, thanks. I think what happened is on after 62 days, WPML released the updated version. So it was for WPML to took such a long time. Yeah, 1 million. They say it's 1 million. But should WordPress expose this before there was a patch? So they exposed it next day after the patch. So it's like they exactly, very good, very good. This is what I wanted to hear. Now, when I was talking with Oliver Silt, CEO of PatchStack, and I asked him this question, he said, "It really doesn't matter, because if you know, you know. If you know there was a patch release to the code base, every hacker who cares about that knows about this, because you monitor the repository, the plugin repository. You see, you can make a diff between different versions. And whether WordPress publishes this next day or next year makes no difference, except for like script kiddies or people who are not very deep, because people who are deep knows this the second the plugin is near, like I'm exaggerating, but the minute the plugin gets updated, because you see what got updated with automatic tools, for example. So if we were like the same position as you were, like they published the information so soon, but we got infected 3 days later. It like 3 days later is like, you know, light year, like very long time in here, because the code repository was probably listened to, and that plugin was also a very popular one. So the problem is you have to update like nearly on an auto update, because but if your website will break, that's another problem, right? But update as soon as possible, or you can use PatchStack or WordFence, because they release like virtual patches to that. If you don't update your plugin, you get virtual patch. They come at different problems, like, you know, another plugin to trust. So this is also like a philosophical discussion: should we use WordFence and PatchStack or not? But I wanted to draw your attention to how fast you can get infected after a release is done to a plugin you are using. Another thing to consider is doing backups. Often external or long stored, because even if you rely on the server backups, oh, I have to run. I have to be faster. So even if you rely on server backups, this can happen to you. UniSuper. Anyone heard about UniSuper? They got deleted from Google Cloud for good. There was like geo redundancy, right? They are a couple, like how many? 125 billion pension fund from Australia got wiped out from Google Cloud. All, like everything. And, you know, millions of people didn't get their, you know, pension operator. And because they had external, independent from Google backups, it took only a week to restore everything. So do backups even though you have automatic backups. Protect your username accounts. What we see with prospective clients coming to us, I always check it. I always check. I will show you what I check. They are sharing usernames. There is one username for the whole company, reused by CEO, admin, marketing, you know, content writers, agency, ads agency. Everyone has the same account. This is a huge problem. You have no idea who is the root cause of a problem, and you have zero like insight to it. You have to have a proper roles within the website, so that unless you have really do something, you should be having you know, the lowest privileges possible, and of course use two-factor authentication. We talked about Tomreef and session cookies. Log out often. If you have an open session, you have session cookies. If that's what gets stolen, you will get hacked. Malware. You have to basically you have to think about protecting yourself to protect your website. This is like a change of mindset. And scanning, malware scanning is a good thing when you don't know if you have a malware, but if you have a malware, you have a problem. You had a problem for a long time. And this is what I wanted to share with you, what I check every time a client comes to us, which is Open REST API. And informing the world about the usernames and accounts present on the website. You can also change the default WP admin link or login PHP. It's not a big deal, because we talked how people get on your website, but there is zero. This is real case. There is zero reason world should know that there is an admin account, and this is real admin account because you get a confirmation from a wrong password on that website. So there is a confirmation that there is an administrator account on that website. You can use Osom tools and try to, sometimes there are emails in that list of usernames. You can try to reverse engineer what's the email and what's the password for that email from like say dark databases. And you should very carefully treat password, not store them in Apple Notes or share them with Slack. It's Edward Snowden from the famous Citizen4 movie. He was typing. I heard that basically you could now spy what he was typing based on either audio from acoustics from the room or infrared radiation of his fingers, for example. Crazy stuff. OWASP. I think I have to run through OWASP, but OWASP is a project most known for OWASP 10. Top 10. We are going to have an update on OWASP 10 next month, and OWASP tells aggregates popular root causes of infections, problems with security. It's a huge, that's enormous database of problems with security. It will get updated because it changes, so we will see what happens in September. And as an example, like for you to think, what's an OWASP? Let's take number 4, insecure design. For example, what does it mean? An example: a credential recovery workflow might include questions and answers, which is prohibited by OWASP 10. What do you maybe know any very famous example of password recovery based on questions and answers from a very big corporation? Apple. It's violating one of OWASP 10 rules. Look, maybe you have 3 questions and this is enough, but it's violation. So it's bad design. Someone invented a way in which you can recover your password in this fashion. Okay, you have to somehow recover a password, but this fashion is wrong. Or a bad design is a situation in which you can, for example, do something that you shouldn't do with mass actions. Like you can book 15 seats at cinema without paying. You do this a couple of times. You make a full room with empty seats. No one pays for that. No one can buy, so it's a problem. And no one is vulnerable to to hacks, even guys from OWASP. And it was posted on 1st of April, and it wasn't a joke. So they got hacked with their very old database of personal files, and everyone is vulnerable. So to recap, you have to remember that your website is always a target. You are a resource that is a target, and you are personally responsible for making the website secure, but also your own devices, because it's a proxy to get to your website. And OWASP is your guideline. Now, thank you very much. There is a QR code for a short survey. How was it? It's 3 questions. Please roast me. I will be very humbled to see some answers. I like grades there, so you can scan and be very, very frank. Thank you very much.